Good morning. If you want to see how we made these 6 teak cutting boards, stay tuned because that's what we're going to do today. Good morning and welcome to another Memphis Monday. Today, you know, if you're woodworking, you know that cutting boards are really popular. And last year our cutting boards, we made some teak ones that were a big hit, and then we made some herringbone that were a big hit. Well, this year I'm gonna make some cutting boards today, and we're gonna try to combine the two. I'm gonna try to take some teak and fashion it into a herringbone design, and we're gonna make as many as we can. I think about 4, but we're not gonna get that done unless we knock off the chit chat and get to work. I've taken my hat off because of the light. Well, here's a status report. I promised you on this cedar chest. Remember last week, this was the one that I said was the ugliest piece of furniture I'd ever seen. Then after I worked on it a few hours, I made it even uglier. And we had to go all the way back to the beginning and start over. And we put this tray in it. We changed the finish. We finished the inside, the outside. And I need to give this update now because I think my buddy's going to come get this in the next couple of days. That's the stock we're going to use for our cutting boards. Let's see how we're going to process that. Here's my processing plan. I got it broken into 5 steps. Those are our panels. I'm going to cut the panels diagonally and assemble a rhomboid, then cut the rhomboid into strips, and then assemble our cutting board. Here I enlarged that little plan. We're starting out with 2 teak panels that are 24 inches square. Step 2, we're going to take one of the panels and cut it corner to corner at a 45-degree angle. Then step 3, we will glue those 2 triangles right here to the end and make what's called a rhomboid. Let's just concentrate on the first 3 steps here. Well, here's the panel we're going to cut. I've got a line corner to corner with a straight edge here. And since you guys always give me the business for using my jigsaw, I'm going to cut it with a skill saw. Okay, so we cut that corner. You saw me cut that corner 45 degrees. Now we need to glue up this rhomboid. A rhomboid's the same thing as a rhombus, except a rhomboid has one of the parallel edges is longer than the other. The rhombus is a square. So let's take a look at this glue up. Here's our big glue up. One of the important things to notice here is that I had to put these little 45-degree blocks, I had to tack them to the ends so I could get a straight pull on this glue up. And I have biscuits in the joints, so I had pretty good alignment. Only one alignment was sort of off, and it was right here on this one corner, so I put these cleats in here. Okay, so I don't know if the glue is completely dry, but we're going to move on. I'll go ahead and take the glue up, get the glue up out, and we'll move on to step 4. And step 4 is the hardest part, so don't make sure you don't miss it. Now the deal on these angled cleats is that I install them using screws. I'm screwing into end grains, so I'm hoping that my holes don't cause me a problem. Well, it turns out it didn't even need those 45-degree cuts, because instead of doing the herringbone, I'm just going to do this bookmarking here and get all this figure here to line up. See how it's got these natural patterns in it? Same on the other one. See how the arrowheads line up? And the down arrowheads. Here's some up here, some arrowheads up here, some cathedrals down at the end. We got the glue ups started here. What we'll do is we'll wait an hour or so, maybe an hour and a half, and then we'll take the glue ups out of the clamps, remove all the excess glue, and then put them back in the clamps. Well, it's been about an hour. I'm going to take these clamps off, scrape the glue off, and then I'll clamp it back up again. Well, the glue hasn't completely dried, but it seems to be setting pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and process these a little. I'm curious to see how they came out. I may change the title to this video to Revolutionary New Way to Make Cutting Boards. Since we cut this at a 45-degree angle, now we have the grain going this way on this piece, and it goes this way on the second piece, and it just alternates like that all the way through. So this may be a new idea. I doubt it, but we'll take credit for it as long as we can. Okay, now I'm going to cut the 45-degree snaggletooth edges off this thing. You know, you're always seeing me using my 25-inch dual drum sander and or my thickness planer to do these boards. But you don't, if you don't have that stuff, you can still make these boards. You know, you just stick the wood together And you can use a variety of different tools. This is just an orbital sander, but a hand belt sander, a hand plane, a lot of different things you can use to flatten these boards. These spots you see is epoxy and sawdust, just filling in some little cracks. You know, I was kind of joking about this revolutionary new way to make cutting boards, but I've never seen this before. But I'm not saying that I'm the first one to ever do it, because I've never thought of anything. So, but I would be interested to find out if anybody else does this. Maybe even see it tested. And my theory is that it makes the board stronger because you see the angle of the wood on this top board. It's going this way, bottom board's going that way. But actually, on the board itself, this row of wood is angled this way, and then the next row over is angled the other way, and they just keep flipping back and forth. And it seems to me that's going to make it really strong. And I'm so infatuated with this new system that I actually made up a couple more. And I left these little ends on here so you can see, just so you can tell if you've got them flipped back and forth. Because if you're going to cut the wood at a 45-degree angle, you're going to leave these little nubs on the ends here. So I know that all these are alternated correctly. So what we got to do now, here's a stock for our cutting boards. I think we're going to make 8. I'll cut this big one into 2 and the other one into 2, and then this one over here, these 2 over here into 2 each, and we'll have 8 cutting boards. So I'll do that on my table saw. I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but I found these pieces of scrap that illustrate what I mean about this, the different angles here. This piece of offcut, the wood is going this way, and then on the second piece it's going this way, and on this one it's going that way, and on this one it's going this way. So that when those things are put together and glued together, you got that cross hatching. I decided to go with 6 boards. I got 4 medium size and 2 large. Most people like the small and medium, but some people like the large ones because you can do stuff over here and scrape it over here. Next thing is I'm going to round over the edges, both edges on the router. This is the funnest part of making these cutting boards, putting the oil on them. This is mineral oil. It's called cutting board oil. I got several different types. Some of it has beeswax in it, and what it is food grade mineral oil, and you put it on the board, and I like to wait 24 hours and do it again. And then after the board's out in the wild, about every 6 months or so, you coat it again, unless it's in heavy use. Well, that kind of does it for Memphis Monday 362. Today we made those 2 large random pattern teak cutting boards. Those are the large ones. And then we made 4 with the more symmetrical patterns. We also discovered a cross hatch method to glue up. We haven't figured out if it's truly unique. I suspect it isn't. It's too good an idea. But anyway, that does it for Memphis Monday 362. Well, that does it for Memphis Monday 362. Today we made 6 teak cutting boards. We start out going for a herringbone design, but then we discovered that cross hatch glue up method and got excited. So I'm interested to find out if anybody else uses that technique, and also I'd like to know if it's actually stronger than the straight grain glue up. It seemed like it'd be stronger, but I don't have any way of proving that and don't have enough ambition to test it. All right, so I think we had some takeaways. Like, favorite, share, all the stuff you do on the internet. But most important, make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.